Hi guys, especially Ben, who sent me some lovely care packages. Your System 5 stuff arrived today. You know the boxes over there, that's two of them there. There's another one down there on the floor. Right, just a first note, I never knew you were sending the alpha display. A quick note for you on alpha displays. Bubble wrap the hell out of them. Absolutely cocoon them in bubble wrap. Because the slightest wee knock and it's very, very easy to break that seal on the glass there, and when you open your box back up you will end up with little white spots where these black getters are, and then display no worky after that because it'll have lost vacuum. So you've got to pack these really, really, really well. I mean, bubble wrap them a ridiculous amount of wrap because they are sensitive. Anyway, that aside, everything arrived. The power supplies arrived. This one's got the inline filter already on it, so I've plugged it in. I've taken the 50 volt fuses out of it first. I don't want 50 volts coming in out of this. Don't want 50 volts anywhere near this board. I don't want to get zapped. Don't want anything to burn up. And you don't need it for testing. 50 volts is only for the lamps and the payouts, and we don't have any of that here. Program card and expansion card are here okay. They arrived in one piece. And you learn a new thing every day. I didn't realise back in the day, I had System 5 machines before. I never ever realised that the alpha display was powered by the expansion card, not the board. System 5 on its own doesn't have any way to drive an alpha display. And when this tech first came out, they were still building machines in the JPM MPS2 type cabinets. I think Super Bars is a good example of that. There was a Club Hilo or something, I think was another one. And the alpha displays came out later, unless you got your Hagar, Hot Dogs, Fairground, games like that. But anyways, this board looked the cleanest one of the lot. I mean, most of the others, either the CPU is green or the standard cell's green, and well, that's not good. Standard cell is probably one of the most important ICs in the board, so if it's green you're going to have problems anyway. It's going to need cleaning up before you use it. What JPM did was, rather than have a crystal and capacitors and stuff on the board, they've encapsulated everything to do with clocks and address decoding and timing and all sorts of other stuff in here in this one chip. If that chip's bad, the board's never going to work anyway. It's never going to have clocks for a start. But this one looks fine. The CPU looks okay. Well, it actually looks pretty new, the CPU. First thing I noticed on this board though, that switch there was in the on position. Now if that switch there is in the on position, your board's not going to do anything. That switch is your manual reset. It just ties reset to ground. It ties reset low, and if the CPU is held in reset, nothing's going to happen anyway. So switch this on. And check all your other boards you've got at home, but make sure that's not on, because if it is, nothing will happen. Switch this on and fire that up. After giving a quick check on the underside. Solder on this board, by the way, is is pretty awful. Yeah, it's needing a bit of a rework. I mean, see, focus in here. See, there's blown out trace there. There's a blown out trace there. They've been fixed by small link wires underneath, but most of this board will need to be reflowed. I don't know if it's yourself that's done it, or if it's yourself that's done it, good effort, it almost works. If it's somebody else that's done it, it's maybe they've done it for the first time, or maybe they've been doing it in a rush. It's just there's far too much solder being used. You've got blobs. The solder was just little nice cones. Solder should look a bit, a solder joint should look a bit like that. It should look like a cone shape. And these ones are kind of, yeah, big balls. Big balls of solder. And luckily nothing turned out to be great balls of fire, so yeah, I'm dropping in some film quotes there, never mind. And I'm just in one of those funny moods. So, other thing that everybody should check with one of these, I checked that jumper there, and that jumper there's there, so we're okay with that. That is basically, where have I lost it now? Where did we go? There it is there. Jumper 6 and 7 there, that basically disconnects power for your RAM. If that's not there, well, nothing much is going to work anyway. So that's there, that's okay. RAM looks not bad. I mean, that one looks like it's been heating a bit. wee bit discoloured for the heat, but they heat up anyway when they're working, to be honest. So over time they do get a bit discoloured. CPU doesn't feel particularly hot when I turned it on. But what I was getting was reset light. Excuse the explosion in the background. Wife's got a cold. I mean, I have to be honest with you, this is the fourth time I've tried to make this video. There's been some sort of either nose or mouth eruption of some sort for the last 4 times I've tried to make this. So this is the 5th attempt. And I'm getting a bit of a sore throat now, so we'll hurry up. I think this video is cursed. I mean, is this really good karma for working on these boards? I mean, is this trying to tell me something that I can't even get the video done without something going wrong with me? But anyway, right, anyways, greeted by reset light flashing every 4 seconds. Reset tends to take about 4 seconds of these. Well, flashing indicates watchdogs. So I thought, it mentions in the manual somewhere that there's a jumper you can pull to disable the watchdog. Well, there is. But it's not so much pull it as you have to solder the wires back on. See those 2 links there? JP 4 and 5. You've got to manually put links on them for them to work. And that's one. It's just those pointer time. Yeah, you see I've lost my position there. That little bit there, you've got to join that jumper to itself to disable the reset. So I thought, well, I've not even got the soldering heated up, so I'm not doing that. So I thought I'll have a probe around the board instead. And I checked the RAM enables, because sometimes what can happen is one of these transistors can fail and your RAM enables go dead. And no, the RAM enables were showing high, they were stuck, but they weren't getting a drive signal from the relevant transistor, so they were meant to be stuck. I thought, well, if we can't even read the RAM, it's got to be wrong. So I checked across the pins on both program ROMs at 27128s, I think. And when I got to pin 5, I had no signal. Signal was dead. So I checked back at pin 34 of the CPU, and the signal was there. So yeah, we got a broken trace there. I see. It kind of gives it away a little bit, doesn't it, when you see all these link wires over something I'm doing. I think you know by now, if you watch my videos, that... Does anybody watch my videos? But never mind. I've got these lovely link wires and test clips, so before I do any soldering, I try to work out what's wrong first and link it up with a wire just to see what sort of result it makes. So you've got to be careful as well when you are tracing these ROMs out, because I've seen it happen before with these, I've seen it happen before with impacts too. Just like impact, the address bus is one off. So if you're looking for A5 here on the ROM, you're actually looking for A6 on the CPU. It's offset by 1. A 68000 in 16-bit mode doesn't use A0, so everything is pushed up by 1 bit. So that's just to let you know. But anyways, pin 5 was dead, so I've linked it down to pin 33. Pin 34 here with a bit of wire. That I believe is, yeah, that's A6. So linked that up and fired up again, and all of a sudden pin 20, my RAM enable, it started flashing away. But reset was going off. I was getting nothing on display, and then reset was coming back on after about a minute. And it wasn't like a random thing where it was bouncing back and forth. It was a minute all the time. Quite consistent. So I was thinking to myself, well, maybe I've not got something sent up to me that the board needs to run. But I stopped myself in my tracks because the owner of these boards, Ben, had dismantled one of his working machines for me and plugged the board in with nothing running. And it booted up fine. So, use my logic probe again. You see how connected up there. And you can see this link wire here. Well, I was probing around the RAM, and I'm not sure, it's either D10 or D2, but one of the lower data bits on either... Yeah, is it D10? That doesn't matter. It's either D10 or D2, but one of the data bits was open. I was getting proper signals on the top one here, and I was just getting a very faint flash there. I thought, another broken trace here. That's why it's reset's going off and then coming back on after a minute. It can't pass the RAM test. So I'll link that one with a bit of wire. We're going from 64, 61, 60, 64, 63, 62, 61, 60, 59. See, I can't even count now, can I? It's pin 59. Link pin 59 from the CPU to pin 13 on U22. Is that 22? That's a bloody strange labeling method. 22 and 27. You would think it's 22 and 23, but never mind. We'll link it anyway, and now look at this. How's about that then? Now that's about as far as the board's going to get. I can't do my trick with no reels with this thing because it's serial driven. I'd have to be a bloody contortionist to manually tap out all the bloody serial signals going up that line to get it to pass a rule test. So that's as far as we're getting with this. But it's working. It booted. That means that despite the soldering, which I'm no decided whether I'm going to leave the soldering as a reflow all, because the likelihood if I reflow I'm going to break more traces. But despite the soldering, CPU, standard cell and RAM can all talk to each other, and they can talk to the program card once we tie up these two broken traces. Is the rest of it working? Can't tell you. And I'm not going to be able to tell you because I need a machine for that. But I did say to the owner of the board that I will get it booting and the rest is up to them. So it's looking good for board number one. Yeah, it's even marked number one. It's looking good for number one. The cleanest one of the lot. I think it's just been a combination of the previous owner missing that being set and reset. See if I push that, if I turn that on, see how it freezes? It doesn't turn the reset light off because that's just basically a power on reset light. And it's connected to the watchdog as well, but for some reason it's not connected to this manual reset. But you see how it froze up, and if I turn it back on, it reboots. But it's okay, it's working. So what we need to do now is get underneath it and permanently tie these lines together and fix any of the worst of the solder joints. Put a bit of nail varnish or something across this bit to protect from the moisture, because that looks like a pretty heavy power rail going under there. And well, we'll see how we go for there. Obviously your power supply is working fine. All your clocks are working fine. I tested them anyway, they're all the right way they've got to be. This thing's got a frequency tester, it's handy. And well, I'm slightly disappointed in it because I didn't get a chance to play with my logic analyzer. I was hoping I'd have to use it to connect up to all this, but never mind, it's all there, it's running. We'll tie this one up, burn it up, and we'll have to move on to one of the worst ones, which are, you can see just by looking in there, and that one's seen better days. Kind of just looking straight there, and I can see a big green trace in there. But yeah, time to pack this up and for me to go to work, and then we'll get on with repairing it another day. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or it'll be the weekend, but the core of it's there, its brain's working, so stay tuned.